All right, so I actually just have a quick message that I wanted to express with you guys, and that is where is your heart while you are waiting? In the previous few videos that I've recently posted about how to wait on God um, and things like that, I did elaborate upon like what is the wait and what are the promises that are associated with waiting. And mainly all of this waiting season is derived from Isaiah chapter 40, verses 31. And like I was saying in the previous video, when you look at the word wait, those who wait on the Lord, it is almost synonymous with trust, right? And so when I thought about it, trust is such an intimate thing. It is something that is indicative of a closeness with someone. And so if we trust in the Lord enough to wait on whatever we are waiting for or are expectant of, not just of Him or from Him, but with Him and our journey with Him, then it is an indication that we have a relationship with Him, that we have a close bond with Him, that we are intimate with Him, sharing our heart secrets, right? And so I think rather than us just waiting for the thing and trying to grasp the thing, we really need to first reorient our minds and reorient our heart and do a heart check. Am I searching for the thing more than I'm searching for God? Because just like in Matthew chapter 6, it tells us, seek ye first the kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given unto you, right? And so if we are just so caught up in, oh, I need to have this, I need to do this, I need to be this, right? Instead of first seeking the Lord, that may be why we're in a waiting season. That may be why we're needing to go through this longer trial to gain that closeness, to show maybe not just make it more apparent to ourselves, make it more apparent to ourselves that we don't really have the connection that we thought we had. We're not really seeking, you know, His righteousness. You know, are you just seeking Him for the thing, or are you really seeking Him? I actually heard that in a really great sermon, and he was saying how he felt like at times instead of trying to hold hands with God, like to join unity with God, he was just trying to grasp the thing out of the hand of God. And I thought that was such a good analogy to express how often we are just trying to manipulate God or use God as if He's a genie for the things that we want. Sorry, coffee. Rather than really trying to have relationship and join in Him and actually being a part of His kingdom, right? Hmm. And so I do think that that's why, even in that verse in Matthew, it does say to seek Him first. And I did mention in the previous video, if you guys haven't seen those videos, go watch the last two videos. It does, I did mention, I believe it was First Corinthians. I don't remember the specific chapter or verse. But the verse that says, eyes haven't seen, ears haven't heard, nor has entered into the heart of man, um, that which God has for us, for those who love Him. And I just thought that was so interesting, um, how that how this trust is such a form of closeness and such an indication of intimacy that we should be having with the Lord, that it almost feels similar in that verse, in the usage of that verse, like with our love. And so I think that's just what brought me to this conclusion that the trust that we have for God is an indication of our closeness to God, which is an indication of our love for God. And we will be able to trust Him. In other words, we will be able to wait for Him when we do really set our heart towards Him rather than the thing. It will feel less like, and I don't think this means that it's going to mitigate the pain. I mean, because at the end of the day, we're still human. But I do think that it means how we wait, um, the lack of backsliding or going back to old habits to cope with the period of waiting will be will be different. And when I think about even my own journey, I think to myself, these things are going to happen. You're going to have times when you fall on hard times, when things that you didn't have planned happen. The unexpected happens. And you have to think to yourself, what will I turn to in those moments? Am I going to just go back to being the old person that I was? Am I just going to go back to being the old faith that I am? Or am I going to let God refine me and prune me in this season to become who it is that He has ordained me to be? And so, if we really want to step into that, then we need to keep seeking Him. We need to keep having a heart towards Him. We need to continuously check our hearts, continuously check what are we really doing this for? Is it just for the validation of people? Is it just for the validation of man? Is it just for, the image of things? Because a lot of times, especially nowadays, a lot of us want to just be seen. We just want to be propped in front of people, especially as a certain way, um, in a certain light. But do we really have a heart for God? What is your definition of success? I could go on and on. I could go on and on. And even I was watching, a mindless show that I will not promote right now because it's pretty mind numbing. But he said his definition of success was obeying God. And I would have to really agree with that because first of all, it's not easy. It's not easy when we have free will to do whatever we want and we don't always want to do what God wants us to do. At the end of the day, that's just the truth. And so I think when we really start to align our success being in alignment with what God has for us, what God has willed for us, that is succeeding in my definition. And I think that is very telling also of where our hearts lie. It's very telling of what we do cope with when we have moments of stumbling, when we have moments of just waiting. Yeah, because this isn't stumbling. Waiting is not stumbling. It's not failing. It is just a wait. So this is just some food for thought that I had on my heart and just thinking more about the definition of waiting and thinking more about my journey and in the past of how hard waiting has been. And even right now, I'm not going to pretend like waiting is easy, but I do think that when we put in perspective who we're waiting with, yeah, that gives a lot more clarity. And for me, I think in the past, my waiting has been a lot less consistent, a lot less personable because of the fact that in the past, I've withdrawn from His presence. I've withdrawn from turning to my word. I've withdrawn from praying without ceasing. I've withdrawn from um, utilizing the spiritual principles that God has given us, like prayer and fasting and um, just really meditating on His Word. And so, in these times of hardship, in these seasons of waiting and not really knowing where God is taking you, you have to decide, you have to fortify your mind on thinking of things that are pure, honorable, trustworthy, just like it encourages us to do in Philippians. And I don't think that any of these exhortations that are in the Bible that are continuously telling us to pray without ceasing, to take our thoughts captive, and all of these things are by accident. I think God intentionally placed those there to remind us of even the dominion that we have over our minds as we get through certain situations. Because He doesn't ever guarantee us that life is going to be a breeze or, um, you're going to follow me and you're going to gain all of this prosperity. But He does say that He's going to be with us, you know, and especially as we continuously love Him and seek Him, that everything in alignment with His kingdom will be given unto us. And you have to remember, His kingdom is not about the successes of this world. So it doesn't always mean you're going to get money. It doesn't mean you're going to get, abundance in that aspect, but his kingdom is fortified in things like the fruits of the spirit. So patience, gentleness, love, joy, peace, you know, kindness. And when you think about that, in times when you're having to wait and you're having to get through a long, extended period of just enduring something, those are the things that you need. If you think about, do I really need more money right now? I mean, what are you going to go get with your money? A cup of coffee? Like, no, I need my soul, I need my heart to be okay. Because really, it's like it's a heart issue. My heart is hurting, right? And so in these moments, it's like I'm longing, I'm longing, I'm longing, but a hope fulfilled. That's what the verse says. Oh, I can't remember. I wish I could look it up, but using my phone. Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. But I'll bring it back in the next video. Um, it was like hope makes the heart sick. No, I'm gonna butcher the verse, so I'm just gonna leave it. But yeah, all of that just to say, continuously check your heart and what it is that you're seeking. Who are you seeking? Are you remembering who you're getting through this period with? Are you remembering why you're getting through this period? Why it's so important to you, not just for the thing, but how you get through it, where your heart posture is? That's way more important than just getting whatever you're trying to get out of his hand. Take this journey with him, walk with him. Allow him to refine you, to prune you, to continuously get out all the impurities that don't look like him and refine you to looking more like him, more in his image. We already bear his image, but to get that sinful nature that um, was bestowed upon us within the Garden of Eden, he has to take us through a season and a period of cleansing us and purifying us, right? So don't run from it. Don't hide and feel ashamed from your past transgressions. Even if you're still struggling with certain things, just take it to him. Take it to him. He wants your authenticity. He loves you. He doesn't shame you. Any condemnation is from the devil because we are reminded in Romans there is no condemnation for those who are in Jesus Christ. And so bring all of your worries, all your anxieties, cast that onto him. Bring it before God. Vent to him. Tell him where your heart is lying in this moment. Tell him about your struggles and watch how he just takes that from you, delivers you from those things, lightens up your burdens, right? And you get to walk with him and find an easier grace and rhythm to life and just continuously seek him. If you're not struggling with something, if you're just going through a waiting period, if you're just being refined in the season, continuously seek him. He will not you will not regret seeking him, getting in your word, getting fervent in your prayer, getting fervent in your faith, standing on what it is that his word encourages us to do, and just seeking his will. So I hope this helps you all today on this wonderful Friday. I hope that it blesses you and you guys stay encouraged.